Welcome to another episode of Ted's 10. It's a simple concept in which I give you my top 10 of things, and today we're tackling debut albums. So this is what I consider the top 10 list of debut albums. If you like this concept, the first thing I ask is to watch this video to the end. Then you can debate my selections with me in the comments, and if after watching it to the end you appreciate it, just hit that like button. That's all I ask. Okay, and number 10 is Definitely Maybe by Oasis. This may surprise people who know what they like, but I grew up on Britpop, so can't help but include a bit of it in this list. Say what you like about Oasis. Now, go on, say it. Most of it is true, but when they wanted to, they could make some great music, as they did on the first album. And this album, for me, seems so different from the rest, in that there's something quite unpretentious about it, in that it was before they got into the heads they were the best band in the world. Yes, there's one or two arrogant statements, but they kind of felt an irony here, an irony soon lost on their later albums. It is unapologetically heavy, and the rhymes at times are embarrassingly bad, but so what? This is Asus. This is just guys doing what they do, and it really works. The guitar is great, and it sounds so fresh. This is a great record. And at number 9 is Texas Flood by Stevie Vaughan. If you want an introduction to Stevie Vaughan, or in fact electric blues in general, you really can't do much better than Texas Flood, released in '83. It just sounds so fresh, even to this day. You've got some fantastic self-put songs like the opening track, Love Strike Baby, which is immediately followed by his signature tune, Pride and Joy, and effortless shuffle, which just makes you feel so good. And then you've got slow blues numbers like the title track and Dirty Pool. You've got instrumentals which are brilliant, such as the close track Lenny, and the first number called Mood Mood, an amazing album from start to finish, and one you definitely should own. Right, at number 8 we have Murmur by R.E.M. Apparently it's uncool to like R.E.M., especially uncool to like them after the 80s, but I like both. However, I can safely say there is nothing that sounds quite like the 83 debut. The title Murmur could easily deliberately refer to the production. Nothing sounds quite like it, kind of faint and distorted, but luckily it's full of great songs as well. From unique, quirky numbers to ballads to rockers, all I do best is here, and all in a kind of very unique sounding, lovely scape. This is a wonderful album and such a great debut. And at number 7, Tons of Sobs by Free. Now, maybe biased because I adore blues rock, but Free's 69 debut is just such a joy of an album. Recorded in 68, when the average age of the band must have been about 17. I just can't believe the balls of this record. It has just so much swagger. Just listen to the track Walk in My Shadow, and every 12-bar number that slaps you in the face and will have you singing along and marching with the beat. Every track is brilliant. The Paul Kossoff's guitar is just perfect. His tone is amazing, despite being only like 16 or 17. So are Paul Rogers' vocals. This is a gem of an album, and you need to own it. I want to see The Bright Lights Tonight by Richard and Linda Thompson. As you may know, I'm a big Richard Thompson fan, but I couldn't include his debut because despite not being bad, it was the fastest deleted album on Ireland, and I can see it isn't for everyone, but luckily he teamed up with his wife and gave us another debut. Bright Lights is the perfect British folk rock album, showcasing harmonies at their absolute best. You can tell this is by a newly-wed happy couple, and it's such a joy to listen to. You've got joyous, beautiful tracks like the opener, When I Get to the Border, and the second track, the Cowboy Quads, which is just lovely. Then you have songs often covered by other folk musicians like Wicked and Died and Down Where the Drunk Kids Roll. Every track on this album fits together, and there's just so much joy, and it's so deep as well. Lovely, lovely record. And at number 5 there is This It by The Strokes. Sometimes it's when you hear an album for the first time that can determine how much of a big impact it has, and I admit The Strokes is This It is no exception. Come 2001, Britpop had long gone. I had no idea what indie was, and it was like guitar pop had died a death. I admit I was yet to discover the White Stripes, but then I heard The Strokes debut, and it was like, whoa, guitar is back. This is another album driven by so much attitude and swagger. They had something to say, and they knew it, and it's all the better for it. It clocks in a bit over half an hour, but when they're standing up, every song is so great, the brevity doesn't matter. Every track, whether it's a rocker or slightly more catchy, has something to say, and it all fits together so well. This is an amazing debut again. And my number 4 is 10 by Pearl Jam. Sometimes an album could be mistaken for a best of compilation, and with tracks such as Once, Alive, Even Flow, Jeremy, Pearl Jam's debut from 91 is no exception. Eddie Vedder had a few years on his grunge contemporaries, and the maturity in the songwriting really shines through, and is all the better for it. Don't get me wrong, I love Smells Like Teen Spirit as much as anyone, but could you really call that a perfectly written song? Or is it just a song of its times? I mean, lyrically, it's pretty meaningless, but every song on this album tells a story and pertinence. Alive and Jeremy go to quite dark places, but go there with such passion and meaning that it's clearly not shameless edge loading. This is just an amazing debut. Yes, as a Pearl Jam fan, I do kind of regret that people only know this album, but for an album to only know, it's a damn perfect one. And coming in at number 3 is The Stone Roses by The Stone Roses. As a fan of guitar solo and blues-based rock, I sometimes entertain the controversial opinion that I prefer the second album, Second Coming, but having said that, for sheer impact and perfection, the Stone Roses debut is a masterpiece. This was released in '89, the end of a decade in which I believe music went to the dogs, and this album single-handedly, I feel, kicked off the 90s and started the Britpop movement. You have the opening track, I Wanna Be Adored, with the beautiful, delicate intro that suddenly walks and goes into the powerful song with an amazing groove, and the album continues on the plane and never lets you down. I mean, she bangs the drums, wonderful, don't stop, this is the one. Every track just keeps giving, and although I originally said something about the lack of guitar action, you've got the outro to the closing track, I Am the Resurrection, and the extended guitar solo giving to John Squire the chance to really show his chops, which rounds up this amazing record. And talking of guitar, my number 2 greatest debut of all time is Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Okay, I admit it's a bit hard to judge this record as there have been several different releases, but even if we take the original UK release, the most primitive one, I mean, just wow! To open with a track like Foxy Lady, follow that up with Manic Depression, then Red House. I mean, that's just unbelievable. This was 67, remember? No music sounded like this. Even Clapton wasn't anything like as heavy. Every track is sonically challenging to this day, and even the few tracks that aren't on most compilations are equally brilliant. You got I Don't Live to This Day, one of the hardest rocking songs ever. Absolutely brilliant. And you've also got the perfect psychedelic instrumental third stone from the sun. The song starts off quite peaceful and easy to listen to, with the lovely melodic kind of soft guitar that halfway through bang, it changes into this really wild, scatty jazz group. I'm just wow, who was making music like this at this time? No one. This album is just wonderful. Right, full disclaimer, I didn't realize how many tracks were added to the CD I have, which isn't on the original release, but even then, this is still, in my opinion, the second best debut ever. So that leaves the #1 debut album of all time, in my opinion, as Led Zeppelin by Led Zeppelin. I mean, just wow, the opening to the opening track, Good Times, Bad Times, that slaps you in the face like a balloon made of lead, weirdly. And this album that keeps consistently slapping you with that velocity from start to finish. Is it heavy metal? Is it hard rock? Is it blues? Is it funk? It's everything, plus it's more. It sounds so fresh, yet because most of the band were in other bands prior, it's also so mature. And a track like Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, which starts off with the great acoustic guitar played by Page, that 3 minutes into having headbanging to the ferociously heavy and fantastic riff. Yet it fits together as one song. Just amazing. I mean, this record is just phenomenal. The best debut of all time. So, those are my top 10 debut albums. Do you agree? Disagree? Why not tell me in the comments and hit that like button. Okay, thank you.